Hello everybody, welcome to my 2026 bullet journal. So don't let these beautiful overshots confuse you. This is kind of a chaotic one, so this is my first time I've ever recorded me making a bullet journal, so some mistakes were made. But if you can hold out, I promise you there's some fun spreads in here that I think are a bit unique, which is why I wanted to show them off a little bit. Here we start with my journal. This year I chose an Argent Olive journal, this beautiful cover with the moon and the blossoms. I can't quite recall what it's named. I just knew it was pretty and it reminded me of Xavier from Love in Deep Space, so I snatched that up so quick. To begin, my first spread I am working on is the nameplate page, and this one is pretty simple. You just put your name and whatever information you want to on there. For this, I am doing this kind of interesting title style, which I am writing in nice cursive on a black piece of dot grid paper, and then I'm cutting it out, and I'm not just like regular cutting out, I'm following along the outline of it to kind of give this border look. And then after I cut it out, I paste it onto this blue grayish paper because I love killing trees. Okay, I'm just kidding. I didn't kill the tree. I'm just using the dead tree's products. And then I cut that the same way around the border and then paste it. So this way is the way I did it for all of the titles you'll see, but I just didn't record it. Just go ahead and paste that in there, and then I take some washi tape to cover up the Argent Olive logo, not because I don't love it, but it just doesn't really add to the aesthetics. On the other side of this nameplate, I like to put a quote by Vincent van Gogh, and I like to put this quote in every single one of my bullet journals, kind of like a lifelong quote. Every time I read it or write it out for each year, I always feel a little bit better, so I just keep including it. Now on the next page, we're going to actually go to my yearly quote, which I do like to include, but we're going to actually skip it because I like skipping it to the very end so I can kind of discover my style throughout the setup. Leads us right to the next page, which is the future log, which I think you can see in every bullet journal setup ever. But basically, it's a place to put any future events that you need to write down for months you haven't set up. Because unless you're crazy and you set up, May and January, you kind of need a place to put down any big events you want to remember. Because otherwise, if you're like me, you're terrible at remembering. So for this, I'm writing all the dates. I find this really super satisfying, which is why I take the time to write them all out. But I know you can also print them out and paste them or whatever you want. But boy, do I just like writing a lot. To the point that it's already done. Look, magic. So to decorate this page, I take those drawings that I previously made. I didn't record making them, but just know I did. And all I did was just draw some flowers with that silver. And now I'm going to go through and do basically what I did with the lettering, which is go around the border, put it on the gray, paste it, and then cut around the gray too. And I really like it. Like I said, it makes it look elegant. So that's kind of the theme I followed throughout this. But I think this one turned out fantastic. This may be one of my favorite pages. But I went ahead and pasted them in. So the one thing I'm doing right here is I'm taking that paper and I'm going to put it in between the sheets. This is very important, especially if you're working with like the silver pen that I'm working with or a gel pen. If you do not, it will get on your other page. I highly suggest putting a piece of paper in between for at least like 20 or 30 minutes. I have experienced this before and I will experience it again. We'll see. But anyway, so when you see me shoving a piece of paper in there, it's so I can ensure that the ink doesn't transfer on different pages. So if you ever use silver or gold especially, you should do this because it will transfer. Anyway, here now I'm just pasting the rest of the month names. I like doing the abbreviated so they always are all 3 letters long and they always fit super nicely. And once I get these last couple in, that is this spread done. I didn't label this spread just because I thought it looked beautifully simple without any of it labeled. But yeah, this is the future log. So moving right along, I'm working on my For a Better Tomorrow page. And what this is basically a year-long brain dump. For a Better Tomorrow, it's from a TXT song. That's one of the lines in one of their songs. So I stole it. But really, what I want out of this page is a place to put down ideas that I want to do to improve my life, whether it's in life, in fun and learning or in the content. So these are the categories that I spread everything out in. Content is new to this one because this is obviously my first video. So we're going to kind of keep a list to see if there's any ideas that I want to maybe pursue. I like having this here because sometimes my brain do be empty, so it's a nice little place to look back on. But anyway, you can put whatever categories you want on this. It's just a place to put your thoughts. So for decoration, I'm going to cut out some more of these flowers, but instead they're corner pieces. So I'm going to do the border thing once again, and I think, like I said, it really makes it look elegant and pop. It's just the style I like to do. And I don't know if you've noticed, but these decorations are really matching the bullet journal's cover. So every time I get a bullet journal, I really do my best to match the cover, just because it fits the whole vibe. And the reason why I picked the journal in the first place was because I love the cover. Here I'm going to go through and round out with a corner rounder and then put it on. Oh, and look, a cat on my book. Nothing new. We will be seeing several cameos of cats, so you'll have to keep a lookout for them if you want to see them. Anyway, just pasting them in the corners. Some years this spread tends to be a little bit empty, so this year I'm going to really try to be filling it up. But even if it does end up empty, I like the idea that I have a spot to put ideas. And with that, I'm going to quickly write the categories in. This is just with an Archer and Olive brush pen. I don't know the color name. I'm sorry, it's a blue. That's all I can say. And there's that page complete. And here I'm putting an example in. In my life category, I am putting down a cleaning list to kind of help me decide what needs to be cleaned within my house. Once again, another piece of paper, and we're moving on to the next spread. So this next spread is going to be my goal bingo, and I actually love this page. I did it last year too. I used to write out 10 goals I wanted to achieve, and most of them were like serious goals, but a few were fun goals. But I really like this goal bingo because with this I do half fun goals and half more serious goals. So what I'm doing here is I'm just pasting 25 of these little black squares. I could just make squares in the journal, but I really like the look of the color. Plus it kind of cheats the dot grid system because it gives me a little bit of extra space. And of course, on all these squares, I'm going to start putting some of my goals. For instance, last year I had one that was go to a concert, play Kingdom Hearts, and have a game night. And those were so easy to achieve and so fun to achieve and satisfying to mark off. So when you pair that with some of the harder goals that I try to put on there, it really makes it easier to want to get into goals and then to try to get a bingo. So with this spread, I do have a reward system too. So off to the side, we'll see as I put them in, I have something for 4 corners, something for a bingo, something for 4 bingos, 8 bingos, and a blackout. I haven't quite decided what I'm doing as rewards for those yet, but it's still going to be an option that's going to be there for me to get if I achieve all my goals. Anyway, so I put down some more decorations, some more washi tape. I would not get used to this because I decided I did not like how this looks. So I will be coming back to this page and changing it up. I thought it was kind of plain, just really not fitting with the entire vibe. Here we can see that I've written some of my goals out, and there's quite a few of them. So some, like I said, are completely fun. One is complete a game, either a video game or a board game or any game. Make a YouTube. Hey, what do you know? I'm doing that right now. Or like read in a park. Simple goals that like are things I want to do, but if I don't have a reason to do them, sometimes I won't. But spread throughout, I also have hard goals, or I wouldn't say hard goals, but things that maybe make me a little bit uncomfortable, like run a 5K, create a cleaning list, and wear my retainers for 150 days. Yeah, I hate wearing those puppies, me and everybody else. But if I have a reason to do it, I have a higher chance of doing it. So as I'm filling these out, I'm actually leaving some blank as well. As I discovered last year, is sometimes things don't become a goal until midway through the year. Last year, I had no idea I was buying a car. I bought a car, and that deserves to be a goal bingo. That's a big thing. I deserve to have a spot for that. So this year I'm like, okay, I'm gonna save some spots and then I will fill them out throughout the year for appropriate things. And I don't know if you're particularly interested, but just to read off the other goals that I have on here is go hiking somewhere new, save $5,000, build a recipe list, pay off Odie, which is the car I bought last year, have 5 game nights, read 50 books, go to another concert, volunteer at something new, go on a trip, make a photo book, do 100 workouts, create a concert journal, and then watch 5 Studio Ghibli movies. So as you can see, it's a mix of things that are more healthy for me and then just fun things to do and knock off. Like I said before, I have no idea what my rewards are going to be for this, but last year one of them was get a Lego set, get a new workout watch, so we'll see what they end up being. So I'm tucking that little paper in and I'm going to move on to my next spread, but this is going to be my Korean spread. So I've been learning Korean not very successfully well for about like 6 or 7 years. I did study abroad in Korea for a semester and I had Korean classes there, so I would say I know elementary Korean. I have a lot of resources, I should look into it, I should do lessons, and I really quite enjoy the language. I just have a hard time getting myself to do it some days. So anyway, here I'm setting up a spread to help me get into it, to track it. This has a Dutch store just where I cut off just a little bit because I didn't need too much extra space cut off, but I still wanted it to make it one cohesive spread. So that's what I was doing just recently. And now I'm making these borders, which I use throughout. And basically, it's a curved edge filled in and then diamonds in the center of the horizontal lines going down the page. This took some effort, I can't lie about it. It took some time, but it's okay because I really love how it looks. So this is kind of the nifty part. So I have different books that I'm working out of, and if you know anything about Korean language, these are kind of the big hitters. Talk to Me Korean, How to Learn Korean. And so with these, they all are put into different lessons and units. So what I did was just simply write them all down. And then as I do the lessons, I'm going to write over them with a silver marker I'm using to highlight that, oh yes, I've done that lesson. I really like this because boy does it look satisfying. I'm telling you right now, it'd look way more satisfying if I don't know, did the lessons and put it in. But anyway, I like this as an idea of a place to keep track. Here I'm just writing down the titles of the books that I'm, learning out of. This one we have Learn Korean with BTS because I'm a BTS stan. How could you not know? And then Talk to Me in Korean up there. So on the left there, I actually have just blank areas for my Korean goals and then where I have tested. So that's just a little place to jot down, oh, I got to level 5. Oh, I hope I get to level 5. Will I? Maybe not. Here I'm highlighting the lessons I've already done. I've done more lessons than this. Do not fret. I was just doing a few to show you how it would look when I completely fill in and do lessons. Now on this other side, I have a couple more Korean books. Like I said, plenty of resources. I should just dive into it, dedicate my time to it. I really do enjoy Korean. I just need to do it, and boy, would it be a better time spent than doom scrolling. So I'm going ahead and pasting those down, and I'll label those as well. In the beginning, I put down that purple washi tape on the side. Don't get attached to that. I will be changing that. I decided that purple wasn't really the vibe in this journal, so they're gone. Finally, on this last little bit of this spread, I am putting a few more boxes. One is to review, so anything that I find confusing, I can jot down here and say, okay, this lesson I got past, but I maybe need to learn more. And then the second box is like a testing spread. It's the routine I kind of want to follow, which starts with learning, then reviewing, vocab, writing, speaking, reading, and testing. And with that, I made a little quiz guide. So every five lessons, I do a 20-question quiz. Every 10, do a 50-question test, and then the end of the unit, do a final. Will this actually come into fruition? I don't know, but I like the idea of having a guideline so I can kind of base my studying around that and also base making the test around that. And I find with me learning, when I make tests or study guides, I actually learn way more than I would just studying for the test. So I think it's a helpful tool. Anyway, so this is obviously very specific to me with the Korean, but you could really make this spread into any language easily. Anything that you have resources for, you can organize in a way like this, where you put the lessons down and then highlight the lessons as you do them. It's basically a big syllabus because I'm a nerd who likes to learn, but not learn enough that I do it on my own without a guide. So once again, we're going to tuck our little paper in so no smudges for us, and we're moving on to my next spread, which is my routines and reset spread. This is a completely new spread to me, as in I've never completely filled it out. I've tried to do this spread I think once or twice before, and it just stayed empty the whole year because I just wasn't sure the way I wanted to organize it. So this year, before I penciled it in, I made sure that I knew exactly what I wanted to put in, because you can't really stick to a routine if you don't make a routine. Now, will this routine work? I don't know. That's why I'm trying it. So first off, I start by creating another Dutch door. Like I said, I like to do this to keep spreads together and cohesive, even though they need multiple pages. Here, getting out that letters that I pre-did. Once again, I'm doing the borders in the same style that I did the last time, with the rounded corners and the diamonds down the middle. Here is when I decide, I don't think I like that purple washi tape. So guess what, baby? We taken it down. It's beautiful on its own. I just don't think it matched with the vibe, so I'm gonna go ahead and tear it all down. So here you can enjoy some more of me coloring in the edges. It did take a while, but I think it's so worth it. I think it kind of gives a polished look. And like I said, elegance is the name of the game with this journal. If you think I pulled it off, yay. If you don't think I pulled it off, just let me live my life, okay? Let me ignore it. I am putting two different categories, two different boxes, and one of them is the working category because I'm hoping that some aspects of this routine will work for me. And then the other one is the not working, or I say needs improvement. So this is where the chaos begins because you're like, wait, what happened to the routine reset pages? I'm not done. No, I'm not done with them. But I decided that I hated the purple. So here I am going back to the bingo. And I absolutely love what I did to change this. So I took off that purple washi tape and I kind of recentered that bluish washi tape. Then I did these silhouettes. And I love these silhouettes. Honestly, beautiful, perfect, stunning, gorgeous. And I just put them down on the bottom. And I think that really brings the spread together. But that's basically all I changed here. I just took out the purple washi tape that I couldn't stand. And then I'm going to proceed to fix this page too. So once again, I take off that purple moon washi tape. It's really gorgeous by itself, and so is the star one. It just wasn't matching with the blues and the blacks. So goodbye. This is your reminder that you can change whatever you want in your bullet journal. Just because you put it down doesn't mean you can't fix it or change it. Here we take a minor break to show you how I got the decorative elements that I put throughout this spread. So this is, you're going to see this later in the Korean spread. I put these flowers, and these are pretty simple. I'm just doodling, and the beautiful thing about these, you're like, oh, those look perfect. Okay, maybe you don't think they look perfect. But here's the thing, they're so far away, especially in a bullet journal, you don't notice the little imperfections. I probably did these all in like 10 minutes, and they look beautiful, especially with this shiny silver. So this is me saying they don't have to be perfect. There's definitely some mistakes in there, and if you see them and don't like them, then okay, maybe they do have to be perfect. But I think they look great for what they are. And then this is what I'll be using throughout all the spreads. Like when you see a piece of one of these flowers go down, I just batched them. And the great thing about making them like stickers is then you can rearrange them, figure out which looks good there. I think in my opinion it looks pretty intentional about placement, and all I did was just pick random ones out and stick them in. It takes a little bit of time to make them, but once you make them, it's so easy to decorate with them and really get the look you're looking for. And this can be with anything. You can literally make anything into a drawn sticker. It's not hard. I believe in you. Anyway, here we are putting the last little final touches on the Korean page. Love it. Love the decor. It's giving, I'm going to open this and use it and I'm going to study Korean. Do you guys agree? Say yes. It makes me feel better if you say yes. And I know you already know what we're doing at this point, putting that little paper in and moving back to the routines resets. Yeah, that's right. We're coming back, baby. So most of this is me just doing the border, so it's kind of boring. Here is why we do the sheet. Do you see that little blue marks? I did not put the sheet in well enough here. So those blue marks are all over this page. You can't see them from far. I can live with them because as much as I am a perfectionist, I'm fine with it. But that's exactly why we do the sheet method, you guys. Wrap it up. I don't know how much you want to hear about the routines I put down, but I kind of broke it up into like daily routines, a weekly routine, a monthly routine, and quarterly. And routines, resets, I think the quarterlies are kind of more like a reset, like these are things I want to do before the next whatever. You can call them whatever you want. They're basically the same thing in my opinion. So looking at these, the daily part I broke down into morning, after work, and night. So some of the morning I have down is when I wake up, I have life processing. And I put down the times as well, just to kind of estimate how much time I would need to wake up early to get these things done. Now, is life processing really going to take me 2 minutes? I don't know. But I do need minutes to just like think about things. I also have drinking water, getting breakfast, stretching. I'd like to do my Korean in the morning because I tend to find that if I have something to think about while I'm at work, it makes the day pass by a lot quicker and kind of gives me some serotonin of learning something new. I'll wash face, brush teeth, feed my cats, get dressed, and then if I have any time left, that's the time for social scroll. So then I also have after work, and here I have cleaned the house. And for this, I put 30 minutes. I don't need an extravagant amount of time to clean the house. I don't want a 2-hour cleaning fest every time I come home. But I figure if I do 30 minutes of cleaning and really set that timer, put on an audiobook, and just get it done, by the end of the week, that's what? 2.5 hours of cleaning? That's impressive. So we're going to try it out. Still with the after work, I also have workout or go for a walk, do the little box, take a shower, do any specific tasks I need to get done, and then for the last little bit have hobbies and do fun and just, chill out from that. I like the idea of getting the things I need to get done first and then having fun, which I think is how everybody likes the idea of things. Finally, I just have a little nightly routine of brushing teeth, putting on my retainers because, that's one of my goals, making my lunch or breakfast for the next morning, setting up my Korean lesson for the next morning and clothes, and then reading until I fall asleep. So these are all my ideal daily routines that I'm going to give a good old try. So on the other side of this, we have kind of more of the weekly routines / resets. And so for this, I kind of just set a Monday through Friday schedule of when I want to clean certain areas of the house. So Monday being kitchen, Wednesday being the bathroom, and other days, etc., etc. Giving myself the weekend off because we all deserve that. And then I also have a nice monthly cleaning routine. So certain things that need to be done at least once a month, like wash my bedding. I wish I could do that more. I know people do it sometimes every 2 weeks. I just don't have the patience for that. So I think once a month is a good goal. I got cleaning and dusting, organizing, cleaning out the closet and things like that. And then I also have a house deep clean list on here as well. And finally, that last little bit is like quarterly, and one of them is review goals, declutter phone files, all the little things you don't need to do monthly, but should get done every once in a while. Now we're flipping on to the next page, and this page is called my sewer system, and I am very proud of this one. You ready to learn what the sewer system is, babes? So the sewer system is just an acronym I came up with, but these are like the habits I really super want to track and want to keep doing throughout the year. For this page, I'm once again decorating with the corner pieces in exactly the same way I did the other one. I loved it so much, I'm like, I want to do it again. First of all, it's easy. Second of all, it looks nice. And that is enough for me. So the way this tracker works is that you have your 6 months on the top, and then you have your numbers going down, and then you're going to see that I'm putting SEWR, so that stands for each of the habits. And then we're going to have the key on the side just in case I forget, because I will. So S is for steps, E is for exercise, W is for water, and R is for retainers. So I was just messing around trying to fit them all together. I'm like, oh, sewer! The goal is, of course, to come back to this page. Probably not every day, because some of us are lazy. But to come back to this page like once a week and, fill out the days that we did the habit. So for my steps, I specifically have either 10K steps or 6K steps. So I want to get 10K if I don't exercise. I want to get 6K if I do exercise, so about 30 minutes of exercise and then only 6,000 steps, which is usually what I get at work, so it's not like hard to get, thankfully. Just numbering all the numbers all the way down to, whatever day they go to. And then this will be the way that I track off of. Here on the right, I'm writing suggestions for working out, including things like doing weights, going on a bike ride, hiking, dancing. And then I also, beneath that, have an ideal routine for working out. I would like to work out 4 days a week. That's like the ultimate goal. But I like to give myself some grace just in case it doesn't happen. So I'm leaving these lines under each of the habits. And then what I'm going to do is with those habits, I can either exit out, which is kind of boring. I might do that. I would say X is a good solution if you don't want to keep a marker out specifically for the yearly spread. But I think I'm going to actually take this gray pen that I'm making these lines with, and I'm just going to highlight over it just like I did with my last year's. And it kind of gives it like a corn on the cob kernel look. So I think that's probably what I'll do. Finally, it's just time to put on the decorations and then put on the month labeling, and just like that, you got yourself a spread. So now we're going to flip over to my finance pages. And this one's pretty simple. I once again am doing that beautiful border. Easy, simple. I love a theme. As soon as I do it once, I'm going to do it everywhere. I just want you to know that. So I have 2 categories. I have goals, and then I have big purchases. So the goals will just be the goals I have for the first 6 months, and they're pretty simple. For me, it's just paying off some of my car and then putting some money in savings. And so I just did that by putting little boxes that represent a certain amount, and then I'm going to check them off when I do them each month. The big purchases is empty just because it's whatever big purchase I make. So then I can kind of know, like, hey, why did I lose $1,000 in March? Like, oh, because I bought that thing that I shouldn't have bought, but I did buy. I'm just kidding. I always should buy it. So here I just have a place to put my income for the month, what I spend the month, what I save for the month, and then my ending balances for the month. So whatever happens to be left in my checkings and whatever happens to be left in my savings. And this page I really love because of how it ends up looking with that pattern, that border, chef's kiss. It looks really nice, I think. If you look closely, instead of doing March, I end up doing May. But thankfully, it was actually a really easy fix with a whiteout pen. I just took the lower half of the Y and got rid of it. And boom, March. Who would have thought those letters were similar enough that I could do that? So this will be a page I really only turn to once a month, or when I purchase a plane ticket and I'm like, ooh, that was $1,000. I love the final look of this one though. Alright, so now we are finally at the last practical pages of my setup. And it only took us 30 minutes to get here. So first on this left page, I am having a letter to you. I love having these in my journal. I like to write a letter to myself about the year and maybe future wishes. There's nothing specific that has to be in there. It's just whatever I want to write at the moment. And I do have one of these in every single bullet journal I have so far. And you go back and you read them and you're like, oh, okay. Oh, look, a cat intruder. Anyway, so it's really simple. I just have this black letter with blackout letter paper, which looks gorgeous, by the way. And I tape it down. I tape down my title. Try to tuck in that flap. And then I'm just going to decorate it. And in the middle, you'll see I leave a space. And that's because I like to put the date that I wrote on it. So that way I know that I've written in it and then that it's complete. But I will be writing in this at the beginning of the year. And then my journal that I make for the next 6 months, I'll probably write it in June. So then I'll have one in January, one in June, and write what happened to me, what didn't happen to me, everything you'd possibly want to know. So that's that page for now, although I do end up adding some more washi tape to it, but that you don't need to see me put that down. So on the right, this is one of my favorite pages. Sometimes I get really bad at using it, but I'm going to use it this year. But it's called A Moment in Time. And basically, it's just a memory keeper page. You can call it whatever you'd like. I just like a moment in time because it's true. It's just a moment in time. So I have the 6 months I'm going to have this year, all planned out, 2 on each page. With each of these months, I have a space to put my favorite book of the month, my favorite song from the month, and then the book cover, and then the song album cover, so I can paste them in. And then I have a slot on the other side to write 5 of my top moments of the month, which they don't necessarily have to be top moments, but just a moment in time, right? So for instance, for December, I usually put, oh, I got to spend time with my family. You know, it's just little things. Sometimes you find like, man, it's really hard to find 5 moments. You're like, I just worked the whole month. But sometimes it's something stupid like, you know, there was a broken cookie at work today, so we ate a broken cookie. Because you need those little things in your life. I always try to go back and put this in at the end of the month, or try to remember, you know what, this is a good moment that needs highlighted. But sometimes I forget about this. But I'd like to be more intentional about filling it out, because it's really nice to look back and just see those moments that you spent, either by yourself, with people, just doing the things you enjoy. I know some people buy the IV Canon printer and like print out pictures of the month. I don't know. There's a lot of things you could do here. It's whatever you want to put here. This just happens to be the way I like to do it. Now we do have one more left, but this is the purely decorative yearly quote page. And I am really proud of this one. So, first to start off, there's my quote, there's my 2026. But you'll notice, what's that? Is that a new desk? Yes it is. When got a new desk and she gave me her old one, and I'm in love with it. It's a standing desk. It's everything I've ever wanted. But it came in the middle of me trying to film this, which this took, I don't know, 3 or 4 days to film just because of life and whatever. So enjoy the new desk. Tell me if you like it better or don't. It doesn't matter, because I'm not gonna go dig out the old one. So for my quote page, I like to go big or go home. And like I said, I save it till last because it really gives me a chance to figure out my style. So for this spread, I had the vision of the flowers and the blooms along the bottom of the page and spreading all the way to the top. So in order to do this, I just drew a whole bunch of flowers. For these flowers, I just literally almost copied the front of the cover. That's my biggest advice. Like, I don't know what to draw. Copy the front of the cover. Like I said, I like to always match my yearly setup with the front of the cover. So really, I just turned to the front and then found flowers. As far as like drawing them, pretty simple. For the one that looks like lavender, I just did little hearts around it. The pointy looking one is really easy. I just do the outside and then kind of fill in and make the top, the middlemost point. The circle one with the 5 stars to make the flower, you literally just draw 5 dots in a star pattern. And then the last one, you just do dots. Dots, 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 dots. and then I fill in leaves and blank spots. Now the hard part about this one is making the flowers go up the page, because flowers usually don't grow out of not the ground. So here I kind of get a little creative by I put a line to help me guide me, and then I'm going to make that line quote unquote like a vine that kind of connects the whole page. But I start doing the flowers at the top, some more of those dotty ones, and then I just kind of fill in. So it always, in my opinion, it always looks worse before it looks better. So you just kind of have to trust the process, keep laying things down. For me, I think you find that most of your mistakes disappear in the chaos. So you're like, I don't like how that looks. Just keep going. Just keep going. If you don't like how it looks at the very, very end, of course you can restart and redo whatever you need to do. I mean, I've done that plenty of times. But I find that the mistakes I make usually disappear, and I'm the only one who sees them. So I think that's my biggest advice. Just keep going. You make a mistake, oh well. You can try to hide it a little bit, but I guarantee you, time that you saved to not redo it, it's so worth the mistake. Like, there we go. Just like that, I'm adding some stars and some dot stars just to kind of fill in the empty space, because I am a maximalist in all things. Just like everything else, we're cutting that baby out. And this is why I really like making sure I have a lot of black space in between the lengths of the flowers, because you can really cut in there. It really makes it a more striking silhouette to have those cutouts of the outline. It was tedious. I can't lie and say it didn't take a solid 10 to 20 minutes. It did not take as much time as you maybe would think. Bam! I have the other side done. For the middle, where they meet, I just made sure the left's a little bit blank on the one side, so I can kind of cross over the last one on the other side to make it look like it's seamless. Now for the pasting, it doesn't quite meet the edge, so modern problems require modern solutions, so I just slapped some washi tape on the end, and look, perfectly meets the edge now. Went in and trimmed things up, pasted it down, did the same with the next side. Put washi tape, added the paste, and made sure to line it up as best as I could. And wow, look at that. An encompassing little flower wall. So now we're just gonna paste on the year and then the quote. For the year, I just did these plain, simple lettering, but I did the moon from the cover as the O, and I really enjoyed that. And then this quote that I'm posting is actually from Spring Day by BTS, just because it fit the flower vibes, and I love that song. Who doesn't love that song? So lining it up, I wanted to go straight down the middle. In order to do that, I had to cut the one in the middle. No problem, just do what you gotta do. It still looks seamless. Who's gonna know? Who's gonna care? You know what I mean? And then finally, I just added a little bit of stars to fill in that blank spot. And voila, 2026 now has vibes. And here it is, what only took us 39 minutes to get to, the final journal flip through. Which really, this journal probably took me about 13 to 15 hours to do, which is kind of a lot, but I really like doing this. I put on a good audiobook, and I get into it. Anyway, I just want to say thank you for watching. I hope there's some spreads in here that inspire you. I know they're not the traditional spreads, which is kind of why I wanted to share them, because they have some unique aspects that maybe you can shape and use in your own journal. I also want to thank you for sticking through my first video. Might be some painful parts, but you know, that's just how it is. Trust that I will get better, or not, that's fine too. I did learn a lot from this video, so now I know I can take that into the next one. But anyway, I hope you have a good rest of the day, and I hope you have a nice rest of the year, maybe the rest of your life. You can enjoy the rest of the flip through without me yapping. Goodbye.